Friday, welcome to the 3 things I learned in SaaS Sports Tech and Live events for January 8th, 2021, where we're hiding in Maui from the coronavirus at a little condo we rented to do some work. Number 1, 10 years to 10 million in ARR. Why are we covering this? Recently, especially in the last month as there's prognostications going into the next year, all the SaaS and investing experts are out there saying, if you don't hit certain metrics, you're not going to have any success. Or more importantly, you're gonna have a really hard time raising more money. My experience, and the experience of many people in my network, is that's not true. Look, we all want to be unicorns. We covered that in the 3 things 2 years ago, and they will berate you with, you need to be a unicorn because they need you to be a unicorn. They're investors, that's their job, and we want to be a unicorn. But I can tell you from experience over the last 5 years, there are a plethora of private equity and investors that are out there looking for companies that took 10 years to get to 10 million in ARR and have big opportunity beyond that. And there are many unicorns who went that route as well. The reason I bring this up is very simple. When you see those metrics, it is good to look at them and to try to aspire to those things. But don't do anything stupid or risky to try to get there. And often there's a lot of pressure to do that because there's pressure from the LPs on those investors. 10 years to 10 million in ARR is not a bad thing. It will lead to a lot of very, very rich people and successful outcomes. That's number 1. This is applicable for new businesses and people who are taking over a sales team or taking over a new role. Please don't ever pay for meetings or introductions. There is an entire industry out there, agencies and consultants and whoever else, who will come to you and say that I can get you meetings with people who matter. And when I get you those meetings, it's up to you to close them and you just pay me for the meetings and for my time, or pay me hourly or whatever it takes. Please do not do that. They should be willing to agree to what your sales team is agreeing to. Now, you'll have a little bit of leeway there because you don't have to pay them benefits, 401k, or all those things, so you can pay them a little bit more. But if they don't agree to that, you have one of 2 problems. 1, you've got the wrong sales compensation plan, or 2, they're probably not the right partner. We were inundated with these people when we started our business, and we tried a few of them. Like most 3 things, most of our advice is based on something we screwed up. Please stay away from them. If they're not willing to agree to outcomes for compensation, run. That's number 2. And number 3, be thankful for internal competition and make sure that it is a core piece of what you're doing in your business, in your department, or whatever it is that you're a leader of, whether it's a team, whether it's even in community service. And here's why. We all have heard many, many stories about people like Tom Brady or the like, where Drew Henson was brought in to take his job. You know, there's been a number of Hall of Famers in baseball who famously were always worried about losing their job to the person behind them. When I was in high school and in college, I played competitive volleyball at a pretty high level. Ended up playing for the under-20 United States national team. And one of the things I lamented the most about those last 3 years when I was 18, 19, and 20 years old was there was a constant pressure for somebody to come take my job. They were always recruiting somebody new. 2 years in a row, there was the number 1 recruit in the country at the position coming to my school. The year before that, when I played in high school, they flew somebody in from Michigan to try to take my job. And I lamented it. And now I look back on one of the greatest blessings that I've ever had in my life. It gave me the ability to understand that I had to be at my absolute best every day, that there were no excuses, there were no politics, there was nothing else. And it really drove me. People lament internal competition sometimes. They get very defensive about their category or their territory or whatever else. It is important and imperative that we as leaders make sure that we're harnessing really great internal competition. Next thing you know, you might have a Hall of Famer and multiple-time Super Bowl champion like Tom Brady on your hands. That's it for 3 things this week. Apologize for the change to number 3. There was some news that broke this morning that caused us to re-record and go to a different background. And we'll see everybody next week.